Greetings, humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is the finale of The Boiling Point, the Friday night arc of our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long, they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. We're going to go around and say hi to everybody. First to see who they are and who they are playing. And tonight we are starting with Mem. Hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm Mem. I will be Dara Murphy tonight.
Excellent.
And we both use she, her pronouns.
Something real quick. The supernatural horror. Just going to check something real quick. Sound's going to get weird for a second. I want to make sure we're good. I know.
It already did, Jim. It already did.
It's one of those.
While we wait, this is Ellie. She wants to say hello.
Oh, hello, Poppy.
Hello. Hi, I'm Mem.
Now you have to leave.
I will be Dara.
We have a slight delay. Let me do a quick check. We do have a slight audio delay. So let me just see if I can do anything to possibly fix that whilst we are jumping through here. Let's see. All right. So, haha. This shall happen often. Sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna try doing a reset here on it. We'll see what happens as we are. Welcome everyone to technical difficulties, which is actually what used to be one of my favorite podcasts. Hang on just a sec. Let me see if I can figure out what I might need to do to undo that.
Could it be
it's entirely
that someone
possible.
Here has annoyed
I feel as though
the
that's
broadcast?
one of the things that's potentially happening. So let me go to the Zoom audio. I'm going to disable it for a moment and reseat it somehow, if I can. Let me see. We're going to switch over a couple of things on it, just to be interesting. Hang on. Stand by. Let me see here. Switching over one other thing. Going back to meeting. Okay. Could someone, hang on. Could someone try saying something for me?
Something.
Someone here has definitely annoyed the broadcast.
Okay, now I just have to wait for it to catch up.
Catch up, quickly.
And I will
What
see
I said was
if
not
it
what I
is
meant.
indeed working. This is, I know, must be the most exciting part of this whole thing for everyone.
Obviously.
It's gotta be. Try saying something for me.
Something.
Someone here annoyed the broadcast.
We are in business. Okay. Excellent. Thank you all. Thank you everyone for your patience whilst we figure this out. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
So now that we've done that, we've had an introduction from Mem. Now let us head over to Hannah. Hello.
Hello, I am Hannah, she, her, and in this game I will be playing Luca Bassietti, he, him. So, very excited to play.
Yay! Awesome. And finally we'll head over to Alyssa. Hello.
Hello, I am your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales, known on the internet as Shawl Tales, and tonight I play Mad City's most wanted fugitive and underground musical sensation, Lila Mendelsohn. And we both have she, her pronouns. and we'll see what happens because I feel like there's going to be some chaos.
There just might. There just might. One never knows. One never knows. There probably will be. But before we get into all that, you may see us use safety tools from time to time. Like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else. Hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, addiction, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you'd like to see that at any time and you're watching live on Twitch, you can go to the chat and type !DRYH for Don't Rest Your Head, CW for content warning, and that will show up. That's also going to show up periodically on rotation. Finally, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game and mental health is always more important. Now, let us see if we can figure out what's been happening here. So, the last time we saw these folks, they were making their way toward a performance venue. They have made deals. Each of them has made a deal with the broadcast through using the stranger as an agent. Broadcast being one of the more powerful nightmares in the Mad City. The stranger has Stranger and Associates brokers deals for such things, and it made some interesting things. Luca actually was able to get some paperwork taken care of, so that his church is going to be rezoned and set up so that he can continue to live there and continue to display artwork. So that has been taken care of. Dara, who has been, up until this point, has been chased by members of the group of nightmares known as the Press Gang, who are in service to an entity called the Emptiness. Also, apparently, is wanted by another very powerful nightmare called the Shadow Crone, and was able to get one of the make a deal that will get one of those two groups off of her back. In particular, the Press Gang, working as they have been the most visible of late, and. So, in order to do that, there's going to be apparently coming what was called a spin of the wheel. Dara made a deal where it's going to be, their attention is going to be shifted onto someone that she does not know. And there's going to be a random selection coming up that's going to determine who that is. And then finally, Lila made a deal. Lila made a deal, an interesting continuing deal, whereby she shall, upon her visits, find out information about who is after her, and be provided with an exit, provided she produces content. The content in this case being a concert, some underground concert somewhere. Lila is wanted in the city quite a lot. She is like public enemy number one at this point. And so it is, of course, very dangerous. It's very difficult to get any sort of regular gig, but there is something in the way of reality content of it that can be generated from that. So Lila has agreed to be followed around by a camera. Actually, Lila and Dara both this time, because it was a case where there needs to be content made, and they're being followed around by a couple of robotic puppies that are also that have cameras for heads, that are recording their adventures. It's kind of interesting. So when they managed to make this deal, they did discover that there were a number of other folks, members of a group of, these are not nightmares, but they are awakened individuals, much like themselves, awakened insomniacs. In this case, it's a hunting club called the Hammer Club that was down in the lobby of the building in which they were having this negotiation. And they are coming looking for Dara as well. For what reason, we're not entirely clear on, aside from they just don't want the other nightmares to have her. That's all we know thus far. But will we find out more? I don't know. We'll see. But they fled. They fled. The stranger got them transportation away. Now, here's the thing. The venue that has been chosen is a place that those who watched last time might be familiar with. It's a place called Princess Darkness. This is a venue run by a nightmare known as the Host. Now, this venue used to be called the Club Absolute, and it was owned by the Broadcast. Now, quite recently, as those of you who watched last time will know, the properties of that venue were used. It can still be used to broadcast performances all over the Mad City. And it was. Katrina transitioned into a nightmare. Katrina has become a full nightmare at this point. Katrina, one of their companions who was with them, she is no longer who she was. She is now a nightmare who has declared vengeance against those with fascist ideals and those without compassion. And she and the Host left after the performance. Left the venue to do a certain amount of celebrating, perhaps hunting down victims. We'll see. We'll see in the fullness of time. But for now, the rest of these folks, we need to see where their stories end. At least for now. So, you were transported within 7 blocks of the Princess Darkness Club. In the Market District, it's where it is currently. It's a place that hops around. Changes its form as well. And in fleeing from another aspect of the stranger who happened to be nearby, the hungry stranger, they went to the rooftops to look around. They quickly skirted by a more recent nightmare group, or at least one that's only more recently revealed itself. The Cult of the Infinite Salamander, who were having a ceremony on top of the roof. They were just making a sacrifice to a strange, silvery, hovering being that was hovering over this little altar. They skirted by them and have continued their way, running from the hungry stranger, trying to get closer to this club. You folks are on the rooftops, trying to make your way there. at present, there is this strange palpable thing, this palpable aura that you're seeing whenever you look down and you see people in the street. There are people fighting each other. There's this strange sort of aura of rage that folks seem to be experiencing that gets more intense the closer you get to this club. But you can see it. You can see it from where you are. You are in the market district. Let me actually open the maps so that I can actually navigate properly. You get me trusty charts. So you are not very far from. You're not very far from it. You can see kind of, sort of. So let's see. Where you are is you're kind of in the middle of the market district. And so across and inward from where you are, you can see the clock tower. You can see the re-education district between yourself and the clock tower. The outside, of course, you see the outskirts. What are we doing?
I guess we're heading toward the club.
A second heading towards the club still.
Okay. So, you're going to see, there are a few things here. Passovers is sort of what looks like a kind of an odd strip mall type deal. Sort of in behind it. As you're kind of in the middle of the market district, you can also tell that sort of from where you are, you're slightly on the clockwise side, so you're a tiny bit closer. On the other side of you right now is the grid, on the other side of the market district. On the clockwise side. On the counterclockwise side is the shadow district. But you are ultimately able to finally make your way down. You know, you pass by, again, several more rooftops, lots of doors that are, you know, don't seem to belong or kind of up there. Find a fire escape leading down. But you will see as you're getting on it that you've got a number of people. A lot of them are wearing sort of black latex. Are heading, you know, making a beeline for this place. A lot of a lot of other folks, again, dressed from different time periods, are headed toward this club. And you will note that there are a few nightmares also headed toward this club. You will note when you get down to ground level, as you reach the point you are just across the street. You can see standing and waiting in front of the club is someone who we know Lila will recognize. Luca might also possibly recognize them. I don't think we've had them interact directly, but this is someone who's been around. It is an individual who stands about a little under 7 feet tall right now. They're wearing a sort of a purplish pink, very loud, sort of glittery jacket, and a loud multicolored vest, and sort of dark purple trousers. They're wearing gloves, and white gloves, and their head is a large roulette wheel.
Oh. Yes.
and they're standing right next to the revolving door, underneath the marquee that says Princess Darkness. They're just calmly standing there, waiting.
So I set down my news hound that I have carried down.
Yeah.
the
news hound for the whole night. There's a quick
escape.
little circle around you, and then moves across a little bit further into the street so they can get a good shot. Dara's does as well. Is basically sort of hops up on a trash can and watches.
We sort of narrate, well, it looks like the lottery is waiting for us. I wonder if it has something to do with that deal we made back at the broadcast media tower.
Probably. I have to make a spin with this.
Are we needing to interact with it?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, you could try to avoid it, but
You know, I'm a woman of my word, and I said I would do something to someone I'm not sure of, and let's do it.
Yeah, I will say, Luca, you will probably have seen, if you've seen this individual before, then you will have seen them in the market district where they have set up shop usually. They stand there and they do games of chance. You know that they have
I am not a gambling man. I have never
not at all.
interacted with La Loteria. It's not my.
Yeah. So are the three of you heading toward the club? What's happening?
yep.
Yes. Very confidently, not at all afraid or regretting the thing that she has done.
So as you get closer, you can start to hear the thrumming from inside a little bit. But you can see the lottery will. It actually looks. It does have a little bowler hat that it tips. And as you get closer, and it will as you sort of are approaching. I believe you would be Miss Murphy. Am I correct?
Yes.
Ah.
Sometimes Dr. Murphy.
Well then, a pleasure. Yes. Well, it seems we've some business to conduct, as I've been contracted for in some arcane fashion. Do you wish to do this? Do you wish to do this here or inside?
And Dara looks over where all the music's coming from. We can do it out here.
Very well. Now, there are a few candidates that should be readily available. There's just sort of rubbing its hands together. So, it shall be quite simple. And between its hands, see this blue electricity crackle over it. And he separates his hands, and you see the blue electricity crackling in between. And what you see is forming a little table, this little sort of table surface, on which, slightly raised from the surface, is a red button. that starts rising up a little bit from the surface. And you can see that at the same time, the wheel crackles a little bit. And see, it has a few symbols now, just sort of in a few different places. And well, and the lottery waits for a moment as your news hound gets in place to basically to watch what you're doing. It's clambered up onto a dumpster and is watching. Well then. This is new. It's just sort of glancing over at the camera. It's like, well, whenever you're ready. Do you have any questions or anything before we proceed?
Yes. Will I have to know who it chose or who was chosen?
You don't have to if you don't wish to. I'm sure everyone will know soon, but if you don't wish to, I shall keep it a secret from you as best I can. I cannot guarantee you'll never find out.
I'll take the risk. Okay, that sounds good.
You will perhaps see what symbol it lands on. That's about the only clue you shall receive.
Okay, I'm okay with that. And without much. Oh, go ahead.
And note that this will mean that the frame shall be shifted, so that the forces of the emptiness shall gain greater interest in this than in you. They shall be persuaded to forget about you. And the full force of their attention shall fall upon this individual. Do you understand?
Is this truly random?
Oh, quite. It is within a certain... Granted, there are only so many candidates, you understand, for whom this shall work. But within that list of candidates, it is indeed random.
I don't think that was the deal.
Well, they have to chase after someone. It is random. They have to chase after someone. And the deal was it is someone you don't know. And so, a list of individuals whom they can chase. That means awakened individuals whom you do not know.
That wasn't a stipulation before. You're adding things to the bargain. I'm not sure that I agree with this.
Well, they can't really chase individuals who are not awake.
I don't know that. This is my first time here.
Well, it has to be possible.
That wasn't something that we clarified ahead of time.
Ah, so you wanted there to be an option for it to be impossible, did you?
Yes.
Ah, I see. I feel as though that's not really going to fly. However, if you'd like to hang back, then we can certainly take down the wording and head right over to the courthouse if you'd prefer. It should only take a few hours. Granted, the 13th hour shall fall during that.
You know, I don't really want to know anything more about this place that I have already learned today. So let's just get it over with. And with that, Dara just reaches over and just slaps a button, and down goes my ring light.
Ma'am, roll a d4 for me, please.
Wait. D4. 4.
You got a 4?
Yes.
Well, look at that. The wheel spins.
Someone in the Monday groups could have a real bad time.
Clacks and clacks through and through and through. Until it lands on the symbol of a chisel. Very well. The choice is made. The frame shall be shifted, and it will be to someone you don't know. Ms. Murphy.
Excellent.
A complete dossier on this individual is being sent even as we speak to both to Mr. Triplethwaite and to your particular handler that came after you. I believe that was a Mr. Norman. I'm told. They shall be directed toward this individual specifically.
Okay. And now, what's next for me?
They shall be persuaded not to have concern over you. Now, you have one less group of nightmares after you. Congratulations.
Wait a minute. One less group? I want to know groups. I want to go home. I'm not trying to be here.
Now remember, on your contract, you specifically chose the forces of the emptiness.
Okay, great. But I want to leave.
Well,
we're working on that.
I'm afraid I'm not part of that particular deal. I was just contracted for this one. Best of luck to you all. And he will turn and start walking away.
Lila pulls out her phone and types in a quick message. Watch out for the faceless ones, and hit send before heading into the club.
Do we know to whom you're sending this?
To Dustin.
Okay. Hang on, I just need to make a quick note. There we go. I'm sure everything will be just fine.
Just fine.
Just fine. Okay. So, I will say that as you all turn to head into the club, you will kind of be able to see down the side street. And Luca, you will catch a little bit of graffiti toward the edge of it that will tell you that it is possible that once again that your friend might be in the area. You head through this revolving door and into the club. So, I cannot describe this as well as it was described last time by Alex. But I do have a few notes I'm going to mention here. So this looks down, as you step inside, you realize that you are on what seems ground floor, but it looks down into sort of a cavern-like space. And you have catwalks going back and forth and stairs going up and down. There are bars on multiple levels. This place it's very dark. There's a lot of neon, a lot of flashing lights. There is one stage on a sort of a median level. Above the stage, and a little bit behind, is the DJ, who who has the head of a crystalline dragon head. Not sure if it's a mask or not. There's the servers and a lot of the customers are wearing the same kind of black latex. A lot of the customers, their faces, their heads, their bodies are covered completely with the stuff, but they have sort of glowing areas, symbols where the eyes and the mouths and such are, that seem to move as a person's would. Everyone on the dance floor is dancing almost... It's like it's automatic when someone goes onto the dance floor. They have to dance. They have no choice but to dance and thrash about to this music. It's to a certain degree. There's a certain there's a certain head towards techno. There's a certain head towards metal. Very much sort of those areas. And so that's kind of what you are looking upon here. A lot of different patrons down here. A lot of them are dressed like that. There are a number of them that are not, that are just coming in. And there are a number of nightmares in here. And there's a bar very nearby. And your camera dogs have come in with you, and you'll kind of see, Lila, as you're putting your phone away, you will see a message pops up from the broadcast, that has said, "The host will be occupied for some time." So this should be a decent window for you. And you will see that it's something like a quarter after midnight. It's a quarter after 12.
Okay.
So you have to get some kind of a concert in.
I got a good half hour, 45 minutes.
Depends on how much time you want to save for running. You have to
Maybe
attempt
not 45 minutes. It's if you can, the closer you can get to 15 minutes, the better.
Yeah.
So we can, find the
it's
door.
like an open mic night. We'll get 3 songs, maybe.
Remember, of course, part of the deal was that you might. Yeah, part of the deal was you may be in danger while you're playing, just so you're aware.
Yeah. If we get one out, that will be a success. So I type thanks, put my phone away, look at my news hound. I say, it's had quite a facelift since the last time I was here. I love what they've done with the place. And I go to look for a stage manager.
Okay. As you are sort of heading around, you will note that heading toward the door, you actually see the Minotaur. There's a Minotaur who, in the previous incarnation of this place, was a bartender and bouncer. But he is also now dressed in black latex.
Hey.
But he is carrying what looks like the one of the faceless workers, the body of a faceless worker.
Oh. Stuff has happened.
It's just lying limp on his shoulder, and he's like, and he just sort of shoves past as he's heading to the exit.
Someone's too busy.
Yeah, to deal with that. You can see there are on some of there are some monitors in here in which you can kind of see what looks like recent shots. You see, it looks like Katrina performing. and it's like she's hovering in the air. I don't know if you care to pay too much attention to that or not, but it's up to you folks. But you're looking for, primarily you said a stage manager of some kind, someone to talk to?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what Lila is doing. Dara and Luca, what are the two of you doing as this is happening?
Keeping an eye out for anyone who looks like they might be someone who would do us harm. Like, if we recognize anyone as someone who has come after us before.
Okay.
Dara's just like looking around like, man, there's so much stuff. There's so many people. What are these mask things? What is this place? Dara's just like still overwhelmed by being here in the first place and not knowing.
Sensory overload.
Basically.
And would also like to pay attention to the screens that you mentioned before that had Katrina on them, because she was our companion.
Yes. Okay. So, Lila, you're going to, after a few moments, you're going to find someone who is not far from where the DJ is currently. Sort of a, looks like a bald fellow. Also wearing latex. Just sort of smiling. Looks very well put together. Kind of almost as though there are no imperfections.
Okay.
And sort of, there's a glint in his eyes as you approach. And he smiles as you approach.
Hi.
Hello.
I just came from the broadcast media tower. My name is Lila Mendelson.
Oh. You don't want to go advertising that in here, hun. How can I help you?
Oops. I'm supposed to be on stage.
Oh, well, anyone can perform if they wish.
Oh, okay.
What sort of thing do you want to command the dance floor with tonight?
I just need a guitar.
I think we can accommodate you. And, kind of calls up for a moment to the DJ. The DJ nods and just sort of gestures. And, the first guitar that they reach for has two necks. And as you sort of the stage managers are sort of reaching for it, how are you with a double neck?
It's time for everything.
Excellent. You need to hit off anything from the bar before you start?
Oh, I'm good, thanks.
All right. And he will hand you this black guitar. It has metal shining from it. And you'll be shown to the stage where you are preparing.
Okay.
And so, Luca, you have been watching the screen that shows Katrina's performance. And the thing that you note that happens during this performance that's on this screen, this apparently, you don't know exactly when this happened, but it looks like it was quite recent. Like she drifts into the air and releases this wave of energy and grows longer, taller, and terribly beautiful. And you think probably has transitioned into becoming a nightmare.
Ugh. Yeah, I guess this explains where she went, then.
And, you hear from from the bar nearby. You hear someone say, "Tempting, isn't it? Just jump over the edge."
Who is this speaking?
You look over and you see it's the bartender. She is wearing this sort of a latex hoodie, with like hat ears on top of them that seem to move as though they were real ears. And she's just got a smile plastered on her pale face.
Is that the big attraction here? Is something that you try to get people to do if they are performing, turn into nightmares? That seems
Only with
dangerous.
consent. Only with consent. Oh.
It's not something that is assured to happen if they are performing, though. See?
Only if they really want it to.
Grazie. I'm gonna go find Dara.
Dara, you have been looking through the crowd and sort of keeping an eye out. I need to know, and this is important, are you at any point leaving any of the catwalks to go onto the dance floor?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, good. Just need to know. You've been looking around. Couple of things. You notice at some point there's this sort of, as the dancing is happening, there's this sort of circle that comes up, and from out of it you see this sort of central figure there dancing around, who seems to have this prismatic energy flowing around them. You see this very tall blue demon.
Oh.
With wide horns. They're also dressed in latex and chains. And they seem very amused by something.
Can I see what they're looking at?
Yes. Well, a couple of things are happening right now. What you will see, just before this other thing happens, is as you look across, you see they're looking up at the stage as Lila is being shown onto it.
So they're amused by my now great friend Lila?
Yes.
That's
There
rude.
seems to be a look of recognition of some kind. While that is happening, though, someone else melts away from the crowd. Starts walking up the catwalk toward you. This is an individual who is, again, all dressed in black, but they have a slightly different look to them. They're covered in metal studs at the different, like at the elbows, sort of the wrists, the hands, the knuckles. Still covered in black, and they have a hood. But there's this sort of chrome-looking sort of skull mask, it looks like, on them. The figure looks somewhat feminine. And you can see there's like this chain that wraps around their shoulders. It's also shining. And as they approach, you can see there are these two little pinpoints of green light. and they're going to come up to you if you permit it.
I want her to be like aware and kind of wary and like make eye green light contact.
You make eye to green light contact? Excellent.
Yeah.
So you hear a voice. Which, to you, for some reason, it's very loud in here, but you can hear this voice perfectly, even though it's not, the voice itself is not very loud. For whatever reason. Aren't you tired of running?
Running from what?
Yeah, everything.
Maybe. Who's asking?
Someone who has seen your potential.
How would you have seen my potential? I just got here. Who are you?
When was the first time you dreamed of crossing through shadows?
I don't know what you mean. I'm not the person you're looking for. I'm not on those drugs.
Would it not be better for you if you could fight back? Don't you want to? Don't you want to see these creatures that have been plaguing you get their comeuppance?
Look, it's been a long day. I don't want to play games with you. Could you just say what you want?
I want to show you how to fight back.
And what's in it for you?
Well, what's in it for me is quite simple. I perhaps gain an ally from it? Hopefully, in time.
You know,
They fear
I
our
feel like-
kind, you know. Those of us who work with Shadow.
see, now, I feel like there's one person here, one entity? I don't know what to call you all. I'm very sorry. Excuse me. One entity here who truly has my best interest at heart, and solely because they just kind of got sucked into it. So I'm going to go confer with someone real fast. If you'll just give me a moment, please. And then Dara turns back. Is like, Luca, help me, please.
Yeah. So, Luca, Dara is talking to a metalhead.
Oh. Okay, this is, I think, when Luca will find Dara because he has been looking for her.
Yes.
He comes up, he sees her talking to somebody. He's like, hey, Andrevia. Yes. Dara, are you okay?
This person knows things about me. How come everyone here knows things about me? I'm very stressed, and I'm about to start losing it. I don't understand.
No losing it. Here is not, this is what they want us here to do, is to lose it. We do not do this here. This is my worry about Lila as well. They are wanting, they think it is great entertainment here for people to turn into nightmares. This is, the bartender was trying to talk to me about this. This is a bad place to be. We need to leave as soon as possible. Maybe, who is this that you are talking to? Who is this?
I don't know, but they know that I got this thing that I can do sometimes when I get real stressed, and I just do it, and it just happens. And it's this thing, right? And it's wild. It's wild.
Okay, we all have this thing that we can do when we get stressed.
Yeah.
What is yours? What is this thing?
Luca,
See?
are you playing the long con?
What
Have you been waiting this whole time? Luca, please. Please.
I don't know what I am not. I have no con, and
You were painting my face. You were painting my face.
Lila,
Yes.
are you ready to rock?
Oh, yes.
I just need to know what kind of thing you wish to play.
Oh, Lila's gonna play a little number that she composed for this indie movie called Werewolves of New London.
What is this like? What kind of piece is this?
Oh, it's kind of folksy, kind of poppy. It definitely does not fit in here.
You didn't bring your industrial goth, like, to fit the vibe?
Nice. So, I don't believe I have anything prepared, unfortunately, that quite is that aesthetic. I should have thought about that. But you never know. But that said, as you are playing, everyone can kind of hear this sort of. So the background music kicks out, and the DJ is prepared to help back you up with other instruments, basically, if you wish.
Okay.
You're playing a guitar. What do you? What is the? What other instruments or simulated instruments would you like to be accompanying you?
I mean, probably some kind of rhythm percussion would be nice. Maybe some synthesizer.
Okay.
Piano.
Yeah.
Bass.
Okay. Let me see. I'm just going to check one thing. I'm going to check one source real quick, just as an attempt. Because one never knows. Let's see. Let's see if this gives us what we want. I've got possibly an 8-bit thing. That might work. Why not? Let's find out what it is.
Oh, do your worst.
Yes. I may be about to. We'll know. We'll know momentarily. Let me do it. Let me go ahead and toss it in here, and we'll see what this sounds like. Heavens help us. So, this is kind of what we have going. Something kind of like it. And everyone just sort of, who is on the dance floor now, starts swaying. As you begin playing, you will note that as you're looking out into the dance floor, you will see that everyone seems almost involuntarily to get some kind of strange pleasure from this. Music is starting to come out sort of in waves a little bit, just from Lila. And there's a palpable feeling of this. What kind of what sort of feeling are you trying to put into this, may I ask?
You know, it's one of those hope in the midst of darkness kind of tunes.
Okay. No, they're kind of getting into it, and they're kind of doing this sort of thing where they're jumping up and down as part of sort of these dance moves that they're all doing. And it's interesting because there's a part of you that as you're feeling this, you're playing, that you sort of note that there's this, you can sense it in sort of the way that is sort of, this is almost like when you're using your tuning fork.
Mm-hmm.
The way that what you're doing is kind of directing what's happening in here. And it feels very good.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get this song stuck in so many people's heads, and it might not be exactly the kind of content that some people were hoping for.
The dog camera is scrambling around getting different angles as this concert is happening. And you're sort of getting into it here. I need to know, and Dara and Luca, everyone seems to be getting excited on the dance floor. There's a sense of anticipation. The Blue Demon is particularly excited.
Not sure how I feel about that, but okay.
I was like, good, he better be. He looked like he was going to be rude earlier.
Do you know this is the demon?
No. I didn't like the way he was looking at her.
You never answer my question. What is this ability that you have that you think is causing problems?
Does it matter?
It matters if it's causing problems. See, yes.
Fine. So sometimes I can just, casually dip a toe into the shadows and run through them and stuff.
You can meld into and manipulate shadows.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. Do I see the person who is talking to her anywhere? Has this person disappeared?
They are watching you. And Luca, you do remember, I will say, that this is a metalhead like the ones that you saw in the Shadow District.
Uh-huh.
Looks like this one's particular weapon of choice is a chain. But they do have these green pinpoints for eyes.
Okay, I will move past Dara on the catwalk and put her behind me. I'm putting a human shield between myself and Dara. What is this that you want? What do you want?
The metalhead looks up at you. And you hear, again, it's not a loud voice, but you hear it perfectly. You hear the voice of the crone.
Mm-hmm.
As she says to you, "It was an excellent likeness, as it turns out, don't you think?"
You listen to me. You did not tell me that this was going to put someone in danger. You did not give me that information when you asked me to make this painting. This is not part of our agreement.
She was going to be in danger. I've merely opened a channel. Make it easier
you made sure
for her.
Everybody knew her face, so everybody would be able to recognize her. And when you came looking for her, that is unfair. That is unfair.
I was not the one who hung up the banners. But best she knows these things sooner than later.
Listen, I will not let her be taken by you. This was not our agreement. You leave her alone. If she decides to go with you of her own free will, then that is one thing. But you will not take her under false pretenses. You will not employ any of these people who have seen my artwork to recognize her and have them take her for you. She goes with you of her own free will, or she does not go with you. Do you understand?
We are now negotiating with the Shadow Crone.
Negotiating is a strong word. I'm bluffing.
You're now bluffing the Shadow Crone?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, let me see. I'm tempted. I have to decide if I'm going to have the crone ask this question before you roll or after you roll. I have to ask this question. The crone will ask. I'm so pleased you're so protective. What will you do if I disobey you in this? I wonder. What will you do, Luca?
I will use everything in my power to make sure that everyone knows what kind of person you are. And I will do everything to fight for her freedom from you.
Eyes blaze a little bit. Okay. The Shadow Crone is a pain of 8. So
Okay.
please, let me know if you're doing anything interesting or strange, but you're going to be
A pain of 8?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add, like, a lot of madness dice.
Okay.
I'm gonna add five madness dice to this.
All right. And it is interesting, even, oh man. No, I won't say it yet. Okay, you've rolled. I see. Okay, here we go. You have 3 successes. I'm going to roll pain now. Four successes. Let's see what's dominating. A lot of 5s. Let me check something. I have to check something. Oh. Right now, pain is dominating. I am sorely tempted to make madness dominate right now, but of course that would actually push you over the edge. And I have vowed not to do that lately. I prefer it to happen naturally. So, I'll take another despair token. And, oh, but you did, but you did fail the roll also.
I did fail the roll.
You did fail the roll. You actually might have this. So, I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
As a result of what is happening here, one of two things is going to happen mechanically. Either you can take an exhaustion die, or you can snap.
Okay, so I have one permanent madness die right now.
Yes.
If I snap, does that turn me into a nightmare? Or does that just mean I have 2 permanent madness die and one more is going to turn me into a nightmare?
Yes, the latter. You would have one more permanent than that this die.
But I'm not yet a nightmare.
But you're not yet a nightmare.
Because you'll still have discipline, right?
Right, okay.
You still have one discipline left if you do that.
Okay, I would like to snap.
Okay. So, let me set the stage a little bit for this. Whilst Luca is having this little conversation with the proxy of the Shadow Crown, Dara, you will note that as at this point in the set that Lila is doing, we'll say you've made it onto like a third song, at least. And, a lot of folks are sort of swaying happily, again, to this music, even though it's not what the club usually does. Jerking back and forth. And there's this feeling welling up, Lila. And the reason I'm moving over to Lila for a second is I just want to see how bad this is. Alright, you're going to notice this demon swaying in time to it. It seems to rise up almost over the others. And Lila, it is getting harder to maintain almost control of this, whatever it is you've got going on here. It's unmitigated joy, that kind of thing? Is that what we're looking at?
It does seem like it's getting a little bit manic.
You're feeling waves coming off of you. Your sonic waves coming off of you. Pulsing. The whole room is pulsing. And at the center of this sort of cone that you're looking down, and you spot the blue demon. You spot the Archfiend, whom you have met before.
Oh. Lovely.
And the Archfiend locks eyes with you. And they know. They smile. Even though you seem to be controlling their every movement right now. They know it pleases them. I need you to make a roll for me.
Okay.
Call it a sort of resistance, as it were.
Uh-huh.
Coincidentally enough, this is also going to be against a pain of 8.
Sure.
And let me know if you're doing anything special before you roll.
True discipline. I mean, I've been practicing for this for what, 3-4 years? I'm gonna throw my talents in.
Okay. What would you like to do with them? You seem to be able to do rather a lot with them right now.
Yeah. So, I meet the Archfiend's stare, and I channel a little bit of my talents into the playing, like on purpose, because pretty much everything in the universe is made of vibrations, and I can control that, and nobody really wants me to become a nightmare because I will make their lives hell.
Yes.
So
What are we doing? As far as just putting what are you trying to do with the vibrations?
I'm gonna try to make everyone's dreams a little less bad tonight.
When you say everyone, how many is everyone?
As
Roughly.
many as I can reach.
From here you can reach quite a few people.
Uh-huh.
This is a place from which you can broadcast.
Yep.
You want to broadcast?
Yes. I got friends in high places. I might as well.
If you are attempting to affect the entire city, you're going to need to probably roll your entire complement of madness.
Okey-dokey.
If you wish to affect the entire city, the pain is going up to 12. Just so you're aware.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, you know, just this room is 8, but if you want to do it, you may as well. All right. That's where we are with that, then. We're going to go ahead and roll. You're going to go ahead and roll, and I'm going to go ahead and see what the roll is, and then I'm going to resolve what happened with Luca's roll.
Okay.
I'm going to roll 12 madness now, as you try to send another wave across the entire city. We both got 5 successes. We are tied. Ties go to you.
Just enough is all you need.
I am going to make Madness dominate this time, though, because I see that you are not close to snapping necessarily, so let's get that closer.
Okay.
You're going to be checking off a box.
Sure.
What box would you like to check off, just so that I'll know?
I can't exactly flee. I've got a concert to finish, so I guess it's gonna be fine.
Excellent. Excellent. So, Dara, you're witnessing a thing happening. It feels like there's this wave of rage that is followed by a wall of rage followed by a wall of joy. It is pulsing out from the dance floor. And you see this wave hitting Luca. I need to know, in this split second, Dara, is there anything you want to do before things happen?
Nope, we're here for the ride. We're here and enjoying the journey.
Okay. Luca. These energies that are vibrating out visibly from the stage are shaking through you as you are staring down this metalhead who is in direct communication with being a vessel right now for the Shadow Crone. And the two of your eyes are locked. And she is watching for something, some stirring in your soul. As the rage of the statement you just made at her is coming out. That you will do everything in your power that let everyone know who this is and what she is like. Even sense her prodding a little bit. Luca, what do we see happening?
There's like a moment of tension where it's sort of like instinct fighting compulsion, but the wave of energy that comes from the music that's been sent out, it just pushes compulsion over the edge, and he goes for the thing's throat, and he just starts bearing down on it, and like you can see like black paint coming up from where he's touched the thing, and you can see it like climbing up his arm like rot, like the tendrils of mold sort of going up the arm and dripping in paint as he's like bearing down on this thing's throat. And finally he like rips it in half, head from torso, and it splatters red paint all down his shirt.
And in the wake of this, around some of these catwalks, you hear this sort of distant everyone hears this kind of distant almost, a lot of people can't hear this. Dara, you'll hear this. There's sort of high whine, this high-pitched noise starting to come out again. And you notice these waves, things are affecting it. You're seeing a chain reaction as some of the people on the catwalks are now laying into each other, leaping on each other, strangling. In a manner similar to Luca. And you hear this sound, it's the sound almost like a kettle boiling over. Steam is slowly rising from the floor. Lila.
Mm-hmm.
You have not snapped. Your fight instinct has kicked in. And you are washing these folks in these energies. What does this look like as this is being broadcast to the entire city?
Lila's form, as she starts to play like harder and faster, almost starts to like blur, where it almost looks like she's doubled as she's working the two necks of the guitar, and the waves of sound are just coming out from her. And she maybe hasn't snapped yet, but she feels like she's probably not in a great place.
As the song hits its crescendo, it's like a wave of energy shoots up from the dance floor. At the epicenter again is the Archfiend, cackling. Luca, as you are tearing this metalhead apart, you hear the crone cackling. And this moment when it's just this vibration is all there is. As the song ends, this vibration around this dance floor, steam rising from below. And then, in that moment, something bursts up through the floor. Massive claws rise up through this crack from which this steam has been emerging. in this cavernous floor. As this creature that looks like this steam seems to, this creature that it could be made of steam or it could be flesh. It's hard to tell. It's shifting. What you can tell as it rises up out is blurry sometimes and indistinct, but when you can see it, you can see that it has the head of a wolf. And you see it drift up. It has claws, it has fangs, and you can see it pointing at Lila as you hear it call out. And you hear this call answered by some of the people on the dance floor. And you hear it answered from outside. And it's drifting toward you, Lila. What would you like to do?
I think it's time to go. It's time to cool things down a little bit. I'm gonna play a slow song.
Oh, you're going to try to play it, to placate it with music.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to make this clear. This thing is drifting forward. It appears as though to attack you. I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
But you're okay, and you're going to play a slow song.
I have one instrument.
That's fair. I understand. I just wanted to make sure we were all clear here.
Yeah.
This thing is drifting toward you, and you wish to play music at it. Would you like to use your madness talent at all, or is this just basically...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone right now is just going bananas on the dance floor right now, as this is happening, by the way.
Not quite going in the direction I had anticipated. I'm going to take out the tuning fork, strike it on my knee, stick it between my teeth, and tune things down.
Everyone is very joyful right now. I do need to point that out. There, a number of people on the catwalks are joyfully beating each other up.
Yeah, we're just going to mellow things out a little. Yeah. It worked with the last steam crater.
You never know. You never know. Okay. You're about to do that. I do need to specify here that there are people in the room. I don't know that they're exactly physically transforming, but they may as well be. But there are a lot of folks in the room are starting to act a little more ferally. And kind of like a couple of people are just sort of leaping up. A couple of folks, again, in these black latex have now leapt up onto the catwalks in this strange feral fashion. You don't know what they're going to do, Dara and Luca, you're not sure. But I would like to know, briefly, for just a moment, as Lila is about to play this, once again, just so I've gone around, if Dara and Luca are doing anything different at this point. Or what they might be doing. I'm going to give you a chance to do something if you want to do something.
Well, honestly, Dara's just watched Luca rip a thing apart. There's madness happening. Dara's, that little teeny tiny grasp on reality that she's got is getting more and more tenuous the more she's here. So she's just kind of chilling, but also freaking out.
Would you like a drink?
A
wait person has appeared next to your elbow and is offering you a selection of drinks.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
The menu includes, for anyone wondering, who was not here last week, the menu includes things like Silver Drop, Golden Sunshine, and Give Me All the Pills. All right.
Sounds about right for this place.
Yeah. Is Luca doing anything different right now? What's Luca
Has
doing?
Lila given us any indication that she has this under control and knows what she's going to do next? Cool. Luca's going to
see what's going on with them, or do I just have like Archfiend and Steam Demon in my
You
face?
are very your attention is very
I know
taken
it's
up in all
dark
this.
and there's all kinds of lights.
But you can sort of
So,
feel, you can tell people are fighting each other on the catwalks,
Yeah.
and you think Luca might be among them, probably.
Okay.
And you can make out where they are.
Sure. And I have not had any indication that like our door is ready yet.
Well, you're still playing.
I'm still playing. Okay. What time is it?
It's about it's about at this point. Let's see. You got in. It took a few minutes to get everything set up. It's getting close to like 12:40. It's about 12:40.
Okay.
You have maybe 20 minutes.
I think I'm going to look at this steam creature that's trying to attack me as I'm trying to slow it down, cool it off. I'm going to say you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And I'm going to kind of wave to my friends.
Okay, so there is an indicator then, Luca, that Lila is trying to do something here.
Trying to do something. I have no idea. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna, put the fingers to the teeth and do the horse whistle to get the attention of the Amico di Vernici, since he indicated he was in the area.
Okay. Do you want to help on this with that?
Do I want to help?
In other words, Lila's probably about to roll something. Do you want to help with that, or do you want that?
I would like to assist.
Excellent. Okay. So this is Lila. I just need to know the scope of what you're trying to affect here. You're trying to affect specifically the
Specifically the steam
creature.
wolf.
The steam wolf. Let's
If I, spill things over onto the rest of the club, that's great. I'm not really trying to affect the rest of the city right now.
That's fair. Let's call this what it is. This is some form or other of the Magnificent Howler.
Mm-hmm. Figured as much.
So, Magnificent Howler has had kind of a windfall recently in terms of its power base. Been doing very well. Its pain rating currently, especially with things that have been happening recently in this place, pain rating is 9.
Okay. Could be worse.
So, you will be, and you want to just sort of, what do you want to do to it again with your madness ability? You want to slow it down, or do you want to just...
Steam. I'm going to slow down the vibration so it gets cool and sinks back down like last
All right,
time.
you want to pull it completely down. Okay.
I'm going to make it chill out.
So I think that's going to require, again, it's going to be a minimum of 4 madness dice for this. But of course, you may roll more if you wish. And of course, Luca is helping, so you can also roll, and I'm just going to count your discipline.
Just my discipline. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
All of those successes. Let me go ahead and roll 9.
That counts.
No, you're helping. You are helping.
Not much thought going on right now. It's mostly madness taking control. Like,
Head empty, only madness. So let's take a look
I
here.
have that effect on Luca.
Well, pain is certainly dominating. I have 4 successes. 4 or 5. You have 7 successes. So you're doing considerably better than me. Jeez. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I have 2 6s in pain, and I would have to spend like 3 of these despair tokens if I wanted to, this is the finale. I should probably do something with these despair tokens. If I want anything else to dominate. So, I am going to take away, yes, I'm going to take away, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm moving a bunch over to Hope here. I'm going to spend 3 tokens to take away my 2 6s in pain.
Okay.
And I am actually going to add a 6 to the exhaustion pool. So, Lila and Luca, please take an exhaustion.
Okay.
Now, Lila,
Yes.
this is going to work.
Uh-huh.
So, there are also repercussions going on
Uh-huh.
as exhaustion is dominating. Go ahead and tell me, what does this look like?
I just play something real slow and contemplative. Like, it's the band's been called up for an encore or 2, and somebody is still up there playing them off as the crowd sort of carries on the chorus by themselves and the lights start to go down. And I will take off the guitar and set it on the stand, and I will start to leave the stage.
Yes. So, the howler slowly just sort of becomes very dense and sinks down to the floor and begins spreading out across it. It's going non-corporeal, and the mist curls around the room as everyone feels the exhaustion. As the dancers collapse to the floor, the demon included. And Lila slowly and quietly starts heading for the exit. What are Dara and Luca doing?
Well, I did call the Amica de Vernici.
Yes, you
So,
did.
yeah. I don't know if it's too late to recall, like tell him to go back, because otherwise there's. Have y'all ever seen Little Nemo in Dreamland?
Mm.
No, I have not.
No? Oh, well, there's this sludge that pours in over the dance floor at one point and takes everyone with it.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So, yeah, if the paint friend is gonna like come in and like just as a black mass and like spread out across the dance floor, and everybody who has, calmed down and chilled out is gonna be swallowed up in this rot creature.
Ah, excellent. So this thing is this you see this slow moving wave of darkness of dark sludge starting to pass over these people. Dara and Luca, do you stay to watch this or are you heading out?
Do we see Lila starting to
Yes,
leave?
You do. I will say, sorry, go ahead.
We should go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you are heading out, you will hear this sort of as you see that the Archfiend is kind of tangling with the with the paint creature. And it's hard to say what's going to happen.
It does not affect us because he is still in my control, but as we're like wading through, you get like paint up to your knees. Black paint.
Mm.
Ugh.
And you can hear behind you there is struggling, but there's also the sound of roaring as of a creature roaring. There is some sort of strange reaction happening in there. We're not sure what's happening in there because you all are going to be out of the club by the time whatever happens.
Oh.
But you will notice there is again another burst of energy that comes up through the roof of the club from around the center of it. We're not sure what that signifies, but something's happening. And I think on that we're going to take a break if folks would be amenable to that. Going to take a break. I'll go ahead and throw an interview on. We'll be back in a little bit. See you folks shortly. Welcome to the break. I have Josh Simons with us here today to chat a little bit. Greetings. How's it going?
Hey, it's pretty good. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Excellent. You do rather a lot in the RPG space, and I thought I would have you on to have a little chat about how you got into this and all the various stuffs that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I guess just for folks who may not be familiar, why don't we start by just telling us a little bit about yourself, just in general?
Yeah, of course. My name is Josh. You can find me on the internet at Joshua M. Simons everywhere. I got into tabletop gaming a few years back. I actually got into it after I took a history of Middle-earth class in college, which included a significant portion of the curriculum was wargaming, as we replayed through and reenacted every major battle in Middle-earth history. And so I went from wargaming. I was like, this is really cool. There's a lot of fun tactics in here. How do I do more of this? And there was someone who was in part of that class who was like, hey, do you want to come play D&D with me and some friends? And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons. Is it like wargaming? And I went to check it out. It was not like wargaming, except in like you're using the same figures and the same dice, but otherwise it's very different. But I fell in love. So
Wow.
I am one of those folks who, when I jump into something, I do it completely. And so between my first session of D&D and my second session of D&D, I had read like 3 whole books, the player's handbook, the DM's guide. I was like, I need to know everything about everything. And have not looked back since then. I've been doing this for a few years now, playing, DMing, GMing, various systems, a whole bunch of fun things. I started publishing. I've been publishing stuff on the DM's Guild for a little while, a couple years now. I've published with Mage Hand Press. I've got some other projects that are in the works that I can't talk about yet. I started streaming actual plays and charity games, especially. I do a lot of those. Charity is actually very important to me. I am on staff with Jasper's Game Day. If you're not familiar, Jasper's is a nonprofit organization that uses tabletop gaming to raise money for suicide awareness, which is something that is very important to me. Mental health being something that I have struggled with in the past and sometimes still do. I want to be sure that we're kind of using our hobby and our skills to do something good for folks who may be struggling. So that's a really high level overview of who I am and what I do. The short version is I am online 24/7.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And yeah, kudos to you for doing all of that work. That's just the sound of it is amazing. Just that the overview. I will have to say, I am still just flabbergasted at the fact that they have these Middle Earth history classes and things to offer. It's just because sort of back in the day, little secret, I'm old. So back in the day, while it wasn't unheard of for there to be Tolkien taught in classes, it's just sort of amazing how much of it there is, even interacting both with just Tolkien and then interacting with RPGs that you have happening in college courses and what have you. So it's very neat. It's very neat to hear that. Also, so it is interesting that you actually have a transition from wargaming into tabletop, because that's kind of that strikes me as a tad old school.
It is remarkably old school for someone who has gotten into gaming in the last decade. It feels very old school, even though it's not. But it just happens to be the course that I took. And I think it gives me some unique insight into certain design elements that we see in a lot of tabletop gaming, because I'm often thinking about, okay, how does this balance out in the big picture in terms of like this army versus that army, and how much do I want to stack the odds in this favor or that favor given the circumstances? And so I approach a lot of my D&D design in a very similar method, which, for better or for worse, is perhaps something that is unique in the space, and maybe rings back towards some of the design choices made in earlier editions. I don't know about that, but it is certainly something that I think has given me a unique perspective when I get into writing stuff these days with folks who don't have wargaming as kind of their introduction.
Well, it is interesting because it kind of sounds like you have just sort of, I was going to say sort of a foot on both paths, but there are many paths. So
there are a lot of paths. It's true. It's true. I'd like to think that I'm pretty progressive in terms of my general game design thing, but I certainly think there's value in learning from what's been done in the past and pulling the good things out of that.
Excellent. Well, I did want to ask a little bit about some of the games that you've put out that you can talk about.
Absolutely.
And I see, let's see, you've got some stuff out for Mage Hand Press.
Yes.
I see now I'm looking at the one that pops up for me right here is Dragon Flu Pandemic.
Yeah, that was the big one that I released with them right at the start of the COVID-19 quarantine. We pretty much, it's a bit of a wild story. I don't know if we've got enough time to tell it, so I'll give you the overview. But I met the folks at Mage Hand Press at a convention shortly before everything kind of kicked off in terms of quarantine happening. And through that time, I'd been talking with the folks there at their team and had suggested like, hey, I've got an idea for an adventure module that we could sell, but then donate the proceeds, all the profits to a charity to kind of help folks through this difficult time when folks were out of work, right? This was very early, like everything was shut down. No one was going anywhere. So our thought was, hey, like all proceeds from this adventure, it's called Dragon Flu Pandemic, will go towards feeding America, food shelters, so that folks can put food on their table, even if they're not actively working. And so we got a small team together, but basically they were like, look, we don't have the resources right now. We're gearing up for a Kickstarter. So go, you have our blessing, have some resources, have all of our art assets, make the thing, do it. We've got your back. And so we did. And I spent a few weeks just like heads down every spare second I had, writing, editing, all this stuff, working with a phenomenal team. And it came out, I was very pleased with it. And we've raised a fair bit of money. I don't have the most up-to-date numbers as of right now because it's been a year and a half since we released it, but we raised a fair bit of money for food shelters, which was great. So that's the short version.
Oh no, that's awesome. That's great. You do a lot of work with charitable causes. Can you tell us a little bit about Jasper's Game Day?
Absolutely. So I kind of mentioned in my intro spiel that Jasper's uses tabletop gaming. Specifically, we put on like fundraising events. So before the pandemic, we did this like in conventions, like in-person conventions. We would sell tickets to tables. You could come play with celebrity GMs or come participate in like Adventures League stuff. And all proceeds from that would go towards local suicide hotline type of resource. Since the pandemic, we have turned that to online events. Every week or every year, we do a Jasper's Game Week event, which is a big week or sometimes a week plus a couple of days event where you can bid on seats with, some of the biggest names in tabletop gaming. And all the proceeds for all those charity games go towards suicide awareness resources. We help a number of suicide hotlines. We work with the American Association of Suicidology. There's a big network of resources like that to really just try to make a difference, not just kind of in our individual lives, but in everyone's lives. And I think a big part of what we do really is just talking about these topics that oftentimes in our society, it feels like it's taboo to say like, hey, I'm struggling right now, or things like that, where it just feels like we really have more work to do in that area to accept the fact that people struggle with mental health. And it's perfectly normal. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's important for us to support one another when we're dealing with those difficult times, because it's a normal part of life that sometimes you're going to have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. And we as a society really need to support one another. And we as a community, right, of people who share these similar hobbies, these love of storytelling together. It's really important for us to have each other's back on that. So that's kind of the quick and dirty version.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just awesome. Still, I cannot reiterate enough. It is awesome whenever someone actually is out here in the space and manages to care. I always appreciate that when that happens. It's very cool. It's very cool. So, if folks want to find you, where should they go?
Yeah, I am on pretty much every social media platform, all of the big ones, some of the small ones, pretty much everything but MySpace. I deleted that. At Joshua M. Simons, that's my name. You're welcome to search me up. I publish under that. Or the alternative is you could come and hang out on my Twitch channel. I usually stream 2 days a week. Sometimes I'll take like a week off for the holidays. Sometimes I'll stream more. It's a very loose schedule based around my day job, which some days is more forgiving than others, but you can find me on Twitch at Joshua Simons. There's no M in the middle there, but that's me.
Awesome. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and kick things back over to my future self, whatever it is that he happens to be doing right now. Thanks again for coming and hanging out with us for a bit.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Have fun, future self.
Yes. You hear that? Fun. You're supposed to be having fun right now. Do that. Take care, folks. We will see you all of a sudden. we have returned. So, the three of you exit the club, knee-deep in black paint. This has caught the attention. Whatever is happening at the club has clearly caught some attention. Is there people you see sort of standing around? They're like, what the hell? It's about, you can see by the clock that it's about quarter to 13. And as you're emerging from the club and you see the puppies are coming out and they're kind of circling. Lila, you will your phone is ringing.
Okay.
Well, that was impressive. Good job.
Thank you.
Now, your exit.
Yes.
So, in the amount of time you have, you have two options. Now, there's one exit that I have found that will lead back to Chicago. That is actually, it is in the Market District. It's not terribly far from where you are. The one thing you do need to know about, though, it is near the top of the, I think it's at the top of the Tower of Commerce. Which is owned by the press gang. So,
Okay.
that's one option. The second option is a little bit further away. It's still in the Market District. It's actually on the edge of the. It's at the edge of the Market District, the counterclockwise edge of the Market District, right across from the Shadow District, and it leads back to a city slumbering. It does not lead back to Chicago. I don't.
All right.
So it does lead back to your home realm, as you may like to think of it.
Very well.
But I can't guarantee specifically where that one goes. But again, it's not inside the Tower of Commerce. So those are your choices.
So I will relay this information to the party. I suppose specifically to Dara, since I imagine Luca is going to continue his mission in the Mad City. You want to go back to Chicago? Or just out of here? And how far away do you want to stay from the press gang?
As far away as possible.
All right. I guess we're taking option B.
Okay. And you're going to get basically, this is not like the direction you received earlier where that had like the little glowing arrow, because that was the grid. So, but you are going to get like a little sort of kind of a little flashing point where it kind of shows on sort of a slightly different looking map. It's like, okay, it's at the edge there. There's a theater on the edge of that territory.
Okay.
You do watch out for shadowlings and other shadow creatures as you get to that end. And of course, I'm sure the sounds like the howler might, of course, be. And actually, yeah, as you folks have been out here, you are starting to hear wolves again. It sounds like wolf calls from just sort of around. Yeah. So, looks like there are quite a few folks right now who might want to pursue, so you might want to head in that direction. Good luck.
All right.
you might be able to get there just in time.
We better hurry.
What are we doing?
Hurrying.
We're gonna run.
Okay,
Lots of running. So much running.
let's do that then. Here we go. So, you have choice here. You right now are in the sort of middle of the market district. There are basically side streets that you can take if you want to head there directly and kind of try to do as straight a line as you can from where you are. You have a couple of options, of course. Once again, if you want, you can try to. If you want, you can try to head. You can try to descend into the below and try to take a subway part of the way there. If you want to do that, it would just be like one stop, basically over. You can try running again, like through the side streets. You can try going up to the inner street if you want to do that along the re-education district. If you think that's going to be faster, or of course, again, you can climb up and try to go rooftop to rooftop, potentially. Those are some of your options. How'd you like to head there?
Well, I think we've had enough of subways and trains for a while.
Also, there's a cult doing cult things on the roof, so nope.
Great for the rooftops is not a good option either.
I think with the streets it is.
All right. Let's take whatever street looks like it has the fewest police officers nearby.
That would then be the side streets because you do hear sirens coming.
Yeah,
That blast attracted quite a bit of attention.
Do we know how much faster it is to go through the main thoroughfare than it is to go through the side streets? How much time do we have?
Well, the main thoroughfare is easy to hide from people in, but there are a lot. It's packed. It's the Market District main thoroughfare at just before 13. So there will be a lot of people there, big crowds. So progress would probably be slower. You might be able to make it, but the curve of the street is faster. But it's just a question of finding your openings.
Right, so side back streets is the better option.
yeah.
Okay. So here you are, racing in that direction, trying to go street to street, trying to find your way through as fast, as quick a route as possible as you can get, running on street level. I would like to know who is leading this effort.
Me, I guess. I'm the one with the direction.
Yeah, Lila has the directions.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see what we're up against here as you're heading in that direction. No, the cultists are all on the roof. We don't have to worry about them right now. Let's see.
Right now.
Not right now, What do we have? Yeah, I think we're going to... This is just going to be a... let's see. There's a corpse to pick up, but they're not going to come for that until after 1 o'clock. Let's see. I was trying to figure out if the procession will be showing up, but they're not going to be showing up yet. So yes, I think it's just, we're just going to go for a pain of 6 right now. As you're trying to navigate through. There are people on these side streets as well, but not as many. And once again, you can Lila is leading, and anyone else can help if you wish. Up to you, if you choose.
All right.
Started pouring my tea just as the rolls came through. All right.
Oh well.
No worries. I'm gonna roll 6 pain dice. 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 successes. I have 5 successes.
I also rolled,
Oh, did you?
but I rolled like actual die.
Yeah, you just rolled. Yeah, you only need to roll your discipline since you're helping.
Okay.
What'd you get?
So I have a 2, 3, 4, and a 6.
You should only have 3 discipline dice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Alright, I was roll 3 then. Sorry, would I add the extra one for? Oh no, sorry. It's been a while. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Hey.
Okay, well I only got 1 this time, so 2, 5,
Okay.
and 6.
Yeah, it's no worries. Okay, so you actually have 6 successes, which is a little bit better than me. Let's see. It looks as though pain is dominating. So, more for me. Okay. So you are just ahead of these other forces that you hear running along from time to time. These the occasional nightmare running through, just trying to double back, get around people, cutting through alleys, trying to avoid anything that will slow you down. You hear, you sense the time ticking down as you try to get over to this further away side. And as you get within a couple of blocks of that district, and you've heard from time to time, I should point out, you could hear sort of like the baying of hounds, it seems like. From around sort of behind you again, above. But they do grow a little more distant. They're still there. You still hear the howling. The howling is pursuing you. But it's behind you.
Expect no less.
So it has not caught up to you yet. And as you are running through, you see ahead of you, on this sort of, you're in a sort of a middle street, cobblestone. At the end of it is this archway where you can see out into the major street beyond it. And across from it, you see the Shadow District. You could spot that district anywhere because it is soaked in shadows. It is dripping darkness, that district across the street. Now, you're also you see as you're approaching the Shadow District, or you're approaching the edge, I should say, of the Market District, where you are. You're looking for this theater, where this building is. It's going to be kind of near the outskirts corner, the outer corner. You're kind of aiming in that direction. You can see back and forth, walking back and forth along the street. You see a few shadowhounds pacing, sort of have edged up to the Market Street side. Dara has never seen shadowhounds before. They are about the size These are about the size of, I want to say, Great Danes. They are creatures of shadow, look like this shadowy black substance. They have more than 4 legs. You're not sure how many more than 4 legs. But, actually, let me double check something. Okay, no, we're good. They have more than 4 legs. That sort of had to check the lines and veils real quick. That come out at odd angles. It's almost kind of like shadowy Miyazaki monsters, a little bit, as they are scuttling, kind of slithering. Really, more is what they do. Shadow hounds don't sort of run or pounce; they slither. And back and forth along that street. And you can see them. They are all around that corner, that back corner. You have...
Put the flashlight on my phone.
You have only like a couple of minutes at this point. The door is supposed to be somewhere near the entrance to the theater. Probably inside.
Should we speed this up a little?
Do we see the theater?
So, you see where it is. It's, you think that its front is facing out toward the Shadow District. And you see you can see over to that block, if you sort of have come in and you look. You can see that block has these hounds crawling around it. You can see the theater. You see the back of the theater better than you can see the front of the theater right now, but if you want to go out into that street, you'll be able to see the front of the theater. But of course, there are also shadow hounds running up and down that street.
I'm just assuming we need to worry about the shadow hounds, and we can't just be like, look, shadow puppies, and keep going.
Are you able to manipulate them in any way?
I don't know.
They were not exactly friendly the last time we ran into them.
They are definitely something to worry about. How many are there?
So I need to know now. It depends on where you are, actually. So, like, say if you are approaching the theater from the back, if you're sort of seeing it, and it's kind of almost got a block unto itself, I should specify. Not a lot of buildings right around it. So from the, let's say you're looking out from an alley, and you can see the rear of the theater. There are 3 back here.
Does the theater have a backstage door?
It does. There is a little pool of light coming down right by it. And you can see, though, that the hounds are kind of like pacing back and forth.
Sure.
Around that area, around the area. You're not sure if they're actively guarding or if they're just hanging out. It's hard to tell. Nearby, there's also the entrance to a subway station. There is a place that a building labeled Meat, and there's a barber shop.
Are any of the buildings connected to the theater or just close to it?
The theater is by itself. Like I said, it's kind of in its own thing.
Well,
Above ground anyway, but you know what you're looking at right now.
So Dara's never purposefully up. My pets are going wild today. Dara's never purposefully manipulated or entered into the shadows on purpose. But everyone seems to think that she can do something interesting and amazing while doing it, so she would like to try. Unfortunately, the only way she knows how to do it is to be incredibly stressed.
Well, we've got like 5 minutes to find the store.
This is stress.
Well, more like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
We've got 90 seconds to find that door.
Okay, well,
So we can do this your way or we can do this my way.
Or we could do this a third way.
well, we can do Lila. We can do it your way. She hasn't.
What
you're the one
is
who
your
knows it.
way, Lila? What is your plan?
Just rush the door as fast as we can.
All right, sounds like the Dara
Okay.
plan too. Okay, great. Let's do it.
So we're gonna do that thing. I've done it once before. I'm gonna do my best Quicksilver impression and put my hands on the back of my 2 companions' heads. On your mark, get set,
Stop.
go, and I'm gonna make us all go fast. I'm gonna take you with me.
Quick point of order. Luca has told you to stop. Are you stopping or are you just keeping going?
I will stop.
Take care. You go. It is more important for you to get to the door. Go.
Okay. Take care of yourself because Dawson will do a number on me if anything happens to you.
I still have a contract. It is legally they are not allowed to attack me until I have fulfilled that.
All right. I'll try not to be back too soon. Dara? Ready?
Luca.
We're going.
And as soon as
Alright.
they go, he's gonna do that like really loud whistle again to try to get the attention of the dogs.
You can hear him. Like, oh!
Hey, Connie! Come and get me.
Oh, I'm sorry. The shadow hounds. They don't actually make noises. I apologize. I was still thinking of the other the wolves that are coming.
The wolves at the back, the
You got
dogs
their
at the front,
attention
and you
Yes.
stuck in the middle with you. Like,
All right, so you're whistling for them, and the
shadow
hounds
hounds,
are
yeah.
going to be like, and they're going to approach. So Lila and Dara,
Yes.
you're trying to race to the door to try to get past these shadow hounds. This is going to be a pain of 8. And I presume Lila is leading. Again, Dara can help if she wishes. You just roll your 3 discipline dice. Luca is also helping, so you may roll if you wish.
okay.
2, 2, 5.
All right, let's see what we get. I'm rolling 8 dice. I have 7 successes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with Dara's. So again, we have tied, and the ties go to you. And right now it looks like pain is dominating. I wonder. Well, we're almost there, aren't we? Of course we are. Let me just double check something. I think I'm going to spend a couple of despair coins to add a couple of 6s to madness.
Oh.
Please note you have so many hope coins right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, not these two just yet, but you're about to. So everyone please check off a response.
Okay.
Lead is.
It sure is.
Everyone's checking Flea?
Oh yeah.
All right. First I need, so first off, the wolves begin pursuing, both the wolves and the Shadowhounds begin pursuing Luca. Luca, you're running.
Right in the direction of the cops.
And they're trying to check, okay, yeah, you're gonna head out into the main thoroughfare then. Dara and Lila, what does this look like as you are heading for the door?
It looks like everything else around us slows down, and we move really fast.
The world blurs around you. Shadows nipping at your heels. As you break open the door, as you yank open the door at superhuman speed, and leap through into the backstage area. It is pretty dark in here. It's kind of dilapidated, this old theater. And you're making a mad dash for the front,
Yes.
I presume. As you hear the baying of wolves fading away behind you, you race toward the backstage area. You race through the backstage area. It's not too complicated, the layout here. It's not a big theater. You burst through. And into the lobby. As this, you have theater, red seats, faded red seats. Old-fashioned theater. You burst through the back of that into the lobby, wood paneling. You come out, you see there are some concession stands. And you see that there are a couple of different doors here. There is a sort of a yellow door with chipped paint on it, and faded glass, and sort of sorry, not faded. What's the term I'm looking for? Sort of like frosted glass. Yes, frosted glass. You see there's a metal door, just a plain looking metal door.
Okay.
And let's see. Yeah, there's another metal door, but with a coat of red paint on it.
Okay.
So these are your three doors that none of whom look like they belong here.
All right. Vibe check. Which one resonates?
We're
You're
really
trying-
feeling that yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one certainly has character. But you don't really have time to really do a big vibe check.
Yeah.
As the bells are ringing.
Pick a door.
Yellow,
Yellow.
metal, red.
Yellow.
Yellow.
All right.
You race forward, open the yellow door. Looks like there you see shelves behind it in a clearly different room. You run inside. I would like to ask you, if you wouldn't mind terribly, either Lila or Dara may do this. Whichever of you prefer to do this may do this. There's a particular die roll I'm looking for that probably can only be accomplished through Roll20 because unfortunately I didn't have a lot of time today. Need you to roll a D103, a 103-sided die.
Oh.
Whichever of you would like to do that.
$36.
Okay. I will let you know what that means in a moment. Outside, Luca, you are running from these two groups in the direction of a third group, potentially, as the cops are out. The bells are ringing 13. And really just a question of trying to get briefly away from these folks into a place of relative safety. Because I presume you're trying to lose them and get out of sight.
Not necessarily.
Oh, no? Yeah. What's your aim here?
My thought is that cops trump dogs, and that my thought is to go up to the first police officer I see, looking like this, covered head to toe in what looks like blood, and tell him they're after me, and hope that I get put into prison, which is somewhere that I can be away from the pursuing dogs and the pursuing wolves, and hopefully be, at some point, gotten out by the broadcast, who still knows that I owe him his part of the contract.
Okay. That is doable. Yes, it does not require... I mean, it's really just getting the attention of a clockwork cop. The associated pain with this is not going to be a lot. It's going to be a pain of basically come up to a cop, be arrested by a cop. Considering the forces that are after you, though, I am going to have to bump up the pain a tiny bit, so it's probably going to be a pain of 3.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you've already got it. I have no successes. Pain is dominating.
I'll take it.
As you run forward, and you are basically, they're after me, and the cop just sort of turns and is sort of like, you can see he's just basically hopped down from this paddy wagon, and the cop again, he's got a Keystone Cop looking outfit in sort of very dark blue, sort of a tall helmet, and just sort of with a plastic expression, and you hear him say, How can I assist you, citizen?
I did it. Take me in.
Click, 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 click. Very good of you. And he'll basically produce a pair of handcuffs. And he'll just sort of jerkily move you around to the back of the wagon.
To what? What is the wagon?
It's a so I should describe it. A paddy wagon is basically it's kind of like you know the cartoons where they show like ice cream trucks from like the 1930s kind of deal. It's almost sort of like that, where it's got like a truck like front and sort of an unmarked van type back, really. It's just basically these. It's a taller than normal vehicle, and it's painted blue. And so it's this. So
it's a car.
Yeah, it is like a car. Yes.
Okay.
It's where he is aiming you.
That's fine. He can. I'll go. I mean.
Yeah, unless you wish to try to
no,
escape
the rock in the hard place. No, I gotta.
Yeah.
I'll go in the car.
Okay. He will aim you toward this, and this will. You basically are able to get out of sight pretty quickly of the creatures pursuing you. And then they will take you away to process you and figure out what it is that you did. Now, Dara and Lila, you rolled a 36. You are going to emerge as you sort of realize that you have found yourself at kind of it's interesting. You're sort of in the back rooms of what looks like an antique store. It's very dusty. It is. You hear the fading tones of the bells, the 13th hour. But it's now 1 o'clock. It's now 1 in the morning. This store is closed. But you see, as you make your way to the front, you do hear you do hear a clock ticking, but it's just a grandfather clock. You find your way closer to the front. See a lot of old knickknacks and a lot of what look like little sort of models of desert landscapes models of what look like ceremonial mounds, paintings with desert themes. And as you kind of were coming closer to the front of this store, you look out and you see out of sort of there's plate glass window, and you sort of can see that there's a street out there. You're at the edge of a town, and you see you're somewhere in the desert. And by the door, the front door, there's a little rack of postcards on it.
Okay.
And they say, "Greetings from Mesa, Arizona."
Oh,
We made it.
we did. How do we end up in here, though?
The door at the back has just faded away. You have found yourselves back in the city slumbering. Gripped with an interesting choice of how are you going to deal with being in this antique shop, you know. You're going to try to leave without triggering the alarm, or are you going to...
Oh, maybe Luca will get lucky and we'll also get arrested.
No, I feel like if we trigger on the way out, it's less terrible than triggering it and being in the store
Right.
still. So, I'm willing to take that risk.
All right. Let's find a diner somewhere and watch the sun come up and then hit the airport. I don't know.
Where are we headed?
Well, I am definitely late for coffee with my cousin. Hopefully he didn't wait up.
Maybe I'll stick around unless I get arrested, and then I'll definitely stick around. And see what life is like in Mesa, Arizona.
All right.
And I think I love the idea of the image of you breaking out of the shop and running, as we have the two parallel. Hearing police cars distantly. It takes a while before the police cars actually show up at the antique shop. But as we see the city slumbering, police police cars coming, and over in the Mad City, we see the Clockwork police wagon driving off toward the District 13. And I think that is where we will bring this to a close this evening. Save for one minor detail. As of course, the city is shifting around on the 13th hour. Things are about to look very different there. We'll find out more about that probably with the group on Monday. But going to go around and ask for a little bit of a coda as we go through to see, and once again, as if this were perhaps a film in which there's like a final montage where we kind of see the last thing that we see. Maybe you can go into the future if you like and tell us something we see of your character. Or, you can go as far as you like, or, it can just be in a few moments, whenever it's convenient. What's the last thing we see of you? And you may go in any order. Who would like to go first? Tell us what we see of you.
The last you see of Dara, she's at the diner that they found together, serving up some pancakes, bacon and eggs, because she's decided to stay, and that's where she got a job. But for once, she hasn't noticed anyone looking suspicious. She's been there a while. She's settling in, and she's got friends and is making plans for a future that apparently involves Mesa, Arizona.
Yes. You do not see Mr. Norman again. That was the name of the guy that, by the way, that you kept seeing over and over and over again.
Okay.
Who confronted you at the station. As their attention has been directed to someone else.
Love it.
Who would like to go next?
Well, Luca was taken to be processed, and he was put in a cell for a while and he just kind of, sat there for a little bit until his one phone call came to get him. And he was taken back to his church, which he is now allowed to live in, and he is producing content as was requested of him as part of their deal. And of course, the clothes that he was arrested in, they're ruined. They can't be washed. That red paint won't come out. And weirdly enough, no matter how many times he tries to scrub his hands to get that out, that black won't come out from under his fingernails.
Luca, I also have a degree of good news for you.
Mm-hmm.
In that, thanks to your efforts, in concert with what the professor has been doing, and the recent shifts in the city, perhaps a little bit of a wave of joy that came toward the end. When the church was rezoned, it has actually moved to another district.
Mm-hmm.
The arts district has returned.
Well, he wishes he could feel better about that. But there is a certain feeling of melancholia is not right. Sort of resentment that it had to come to this. So Luca is not as bright and joyful as he once was. And, the black paint sticking around is sort of not helping with that. Sort of a different vibe, and anyone who comes into the church will notice that the paintings of hell have started to spread a little further than just the one back room.
Oh, I love it. Excellent. So, finally, what's the last we see of Lila?
Lila. Heads to an airport. Texts her cousin to let him know she's okay. Heads to an airport. And when she gets back to wherever it is that she calls home these days, she's going to maybe think about therapy, because that whole concert thing and that much power, it didn't really feel great. But she also is going to keep making music, and she's going to try to be ready in case the nightmares follow her home again.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Okay. We have come to the end of this arc. We have reached and surpassed the boiling point. Thank you all very much for playing. I very much appreciate it. This has been a heck of a project, and it is Not quite finished yet. We are getting closer. But this will be the last that we see for now of these characters, and I could not be more delighted. Thank you all so much for this, for basically coming in and allowing me to basically throw nightmares at you. Very much appreciated. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go around and we're gonna do our outros. And you can feel free to tell folks where they can find you and any final thoughts that you have about this campaign. And we're going in reverse order from the way that we started. So that means we are starting with Alyssa.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching, and thank you both for playing, and to Jim, as always, for running a fantastic and horrifying show. I have been your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales. You can find me on the interwebs at Shawl Tales, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, wherever. I don't have anything else going on stream right now, but you never know. Sometimes my artwork or my crafting will pop up, and yeah, we'll see where it goes.
It is an absolute delight every time Lila appears. It's because things just get worse and worse.
Yep.
But thank you so much for playing. And if that's it, then I will head
Take it
over.
away.
We will head over to Hannah.
Oh, good. Speaking of things getting worse and worse. I'm Hannah. I played Luca. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art and everywhere else at Hanimation Studios. And you can find me next tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern over on Wandering DM's channel for some Scion, Birth of the New Gods. Other than that, I think that is everything that I've got going on stream-wise. You can always find my shop at hanimation.shop if you want to look at my artwork or whatever. So this was so much fun, Jim. You know I absolutely love this setting, this campaign. I love being able to come back as Luca. I love being able to play with Alyssa as Lila, and Mim. I had so much fun finally getting to play with you. So like, my heart is bursting, Jim. Thank you so much for making this so much fun.
One day I'll learn how to unmute. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you. Luca is just is an absolute delight. It's so good. It's so good. I can't express to you properly how good Luca is as a character, and how freaking heartrending it is every single time we see him succumb just a tiny bit more to the darkness. On the one hand. Because on the one hand, I'm like, yes, I'm doing my job. And on the other hand, like, oh no.
You're doing your job too well.
It's a problem. It's a terrible, terrible problem. But thank you so much. This has been glorious. And finally, we will head back over to Mem.
We saved the worst for last. Hey, it's Mem. I had a great time. I really enjoyed this. I feel like everyone else's characters were just so big, and Dara was just so lost, and I was kind of lost. I'm gonna lie, I was lost. I was very lost. And so it was like really fun for me to just like watch what everyone else did and just like tag along and then try to learn, but still be kind of overwhelmed by everything. So I really appreciate coming back on. It was nice to work with Jim and Alyssa again. Hannah, it was fun to finally like actually do a show with you. It was good. It was a good time. And then also thank you for being, Dara's safety blanket, basically, because that's what happened. But it was great. I had a good time. I do not have anything else going on right now, and I may not for a while, but I'm always around on the interwebs yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's just I think we've been talking about trying to get you to play this for like a few years now. I think it's the first time we talked about it a little bit was just a few years back.
Just a few years, no big deal.
And oh my god, I'm so glad we finally managed it. And it was so wonderful to have you. It was really good to get to play with you again. It was so good.
It was good to be here.
Yay. Awesome. Well, there we are. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, Twitter, Hive, Mastodon, and most other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Monday, this campaign overall is not quite done. There's one more arc that's still in the process of finishing up. And that is the Monday night arc, The Frozen Soul. That group has got a direction they're pointed in, but it's turning 13 o'clock. So they're trying to seek refuge in the Market District. We're trying to get there in time. And so we'll see how things go there on Monday. And let's see, the only other thing I have happening right now is, in theory, hopefully, depending on availability, we might be coming back. Lucci might be coming back on Thursday. We play ancient text adventure games every other Thursday when we have the opportunity to. On some Thursdays, it's been very sporadic lately, a lot due to real life. But if he's available Thursday, we'll be doing it. And hopefully we'll be getting Zork 3 started one of these days. Working on it. Been trying to play that game for several decades now. It'll happen sooner or later. And that's it. That's all that I've actually got scheduled at this point, gaming-wise. It's just so fascinating to see things now falling off the calendar, and it's like, I'm almost done. I don't know what the done feeling is like anymore. It's been too long. I'll have to revisit that when it comes up. At least for a brief period. I'm going to need a break. But I thank you all very much for watching. If you're doing it, whether you're doing it live or if you're watching a VOD later, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you all so very much. I very much appreciate you coming and watching us do these silly, silly things. Thank you. So, when we hit the end card, I'm probably going to send a raid over to somebody. High Shelf Collective is currently in the middle of their own finale of a thing that they're doing, so we may go over there and say hi to them if that's possible. If not, we'll find somebody else. No big deal. We're going to go say hi to someone shortly. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. Farewell.